Welcome to the channel. Today's part 1 of Decoding the Diaries uploaded on the DOJ site from one or two potential underage victims of Epstein's. Please be advised, this could be triggering. We speak in facts and provide our commentary throughout as well. There will be a part 2 since part 1 is already long enough just by decoding some of the messages. I'm sure they have been decoded somewhere, but we did our own. So if you're interested, please hit that like button. And if you aren't already subscribed, please consider. Hello guys, I'm Trixie Lane. I have a background in investigative work, mainly homicides and paralegal work. On my channel, you will see us covering true crime, previously covering the Gypsy Rose Blanchard case, and now we have moved on to the Epstein files. I am anonymous, I don't show my face. So buckle up and get ready. Understanding the coded pages from Epstein files and the diaries within. So sorry, Jeffrey. These things happen when your body has never been given time to properly heal. So it came out in the toilet and I didn't know what to do. So I just flushed the tiny little fetus. So this minor child is telling their story about being raped by Epstein more than once and how he impregnated her. There were talks that he wanted many of his little swimmers out there to procreate anywhere he could. He did more physical harm to these girls and young women than we realized. He traumatized them in ways that there may never be a real recovery point for them. You have made me numb, and I hate you for this. I hope I never have to see you again. I am not your personal incubator. Where is the baby? Where is Ghislaine? Now, at the bottom says death, but I don't see indication where a death occurred other than a miscarriage. But we need to go further on. But even outside of that, if you rearrange the letters, you get hated. And I found an email to Jeffrey that may not even be in connection, but let's look it over. And remember, the diary doesn't have dates on them. So there is not hard evidence that things are in link and can actually be two completely different situations. You know that in relationship, we don't have age. I loved and hated this selfish child in you. You made me adult, Jeffrey. You showed me the real life benefit. You made me scream and taught me how to be independent from men. You know women pretty well. Thank you for all that. The page here in the diary to me suggests possible paranoia or even alienation. The picture says, blend in, hate this city. It's interesting on this next page, though. Sylvia Plath was the original author to this poem, and the symbolism behind it was depression. A false self versus real self. Public persona versus private pain. Body versus identity. So in retrospect, there are two versions of me. When we run the name Sylvia Plath in the Epstein files, there's 12 results. So this wasn't just a one-off thing. This was mentioned again in another diary, which we'll soon get to. Our stand. You should never be here alone. He should. I believe implying one day they will have their voices heard and justice will be carried out. Now the next page is very telling. The victim not only cut out specific trauma-related references, but added their own words or letters in some spots as well. Through a child's eyes, protect the vanishing children. What I wanted was a place where dreams did not stop at dawn. I won't let pain keep me from surviving flashbacks. In the danger zone. Flashbacks. Flashbacks. Who could have predicted this? I should have. So sad this city could be beautiful if it weren't filled with monsters. Must be referencing Epstein and Ghislaine. The blood from Leon is no longer there. I don't know what the reference blood from Leon means, but when you do a query search in the files for Leon, it comes back with over 27,000 results. About Leon Black mostly. Someone in the Black family that had close business ties with Epstein. Tomorrow is the halfway ultrasound for Jeffrey. This one stuck. I assume because of the miscarriage, she's implying she hasn't miscarried this one yet. It's going to happen. After they took the first baby who survived and the early miscarriage, I think it was called I No Longer Feel Like a Person But a Vessel. It sort of makes me think that Epstein had his own breeding colony. That's really messed up and sadly not the worst thing he's done. Will they take this one too? Who has the first one? Where did Ghislaine go? She is never around. That's because she's busy getting more underage girls for Jeffrey and being a predator herself. Now, does this kind of remind you guys of The Handmaid's Tale? Like, if you have seen it, they take your children, they breed you and take those children from you too. And these are heavy elites that are doing this in power. And Ghislaine is Mrs. Waterford. At least that's my opinion. What do you guys think in the comments? Let me know. I can't let myself get attached. I'm not old or mature enough or even in the place to have a baby that I would be responsible for. So it is very time consuming to mark these codes, but I dropped the links in the entries in the description box if you guys wanted to review them further for yourself. In the meantime, I'm just going to read them. I'm not even able to focus on anything other than hiding this again. How sad is this? This child is telling us they shouldn't be bearing children right now. They couldn't take care of the child even if they wanted to. But I think they're stating how ashamed and embarrassed they are by stating they have to hide this again. Well, they've been trafficked and sold into sex slavery. So whom would they have to hide the pregnancy from, if not just out of embarrassment for the tragedy they're in? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I had to go to eating disorder treatment prior to being in this situation again and missed the entire fall semester of school. Okay, now this makes a little more sense. They're still in the public eye. Geez, treatment for eating disorder as a young child, how messed up is that? what they did to this poor child, that's fucked up. I am so very exhausted. My body feels so tired. Will I ever be free? I hope this baby got out alive and made it free. Wherever you are today, please know you are loved and you are wanted. Even if it's just by me, a complete stranger. You are loved and you are wanted. Don't stop fighting for your justice. There are many of us out here praying every day for your justice. I am such a monster. Okay, this one will be a little difficult to hear because it's truly heartbreaking. I didn't console her. I can't unhear her screams. They haunt me. I couldn't even bring myself to look at her. I'm a monster. I deserve to be haunted by her screams. I am so sorry. I am so broken. And they show an image of what looks like an ultrasound of a baby. So I assume maybe they forced a miscarriage or an abortion possibly. Which I am pro-life, so as much as I am against it, to be fair, I don't think I can fault this child for anything that they've done. They don't know better. It's fight or flight with everything they're up against. This child is expressing trauma and guilt. To send you away and take away your life. Tricking. I think this was supposed to say tricking, but it was missing the C. Tricking time with shortened schedules and waiting all my absent days to fit the scheduling of. And I couldn't make out this last word. I think it might be a name possibly. Was I worth it? Yes, you are worth it in life. But whatever you went through was awful. You are loved and you are wanted. What they did to you was awful, sweet girl. This breaks my heart. No, don't answer that. I know I never have been. That's not true. See, this shit is so sad. I don't blame this baby for giving up. She's not old enough, but I promise, she's more mature than she knows. She was forced to grow up in a hurry thanks to these evil pricks. July 20th, 2001 possibly. The last digit is cut off. It looks like it's from a Lila or Lyle or something. Hope you like your banner. I worked super hard on it. Just for you. I'm so happy that we're close now. And don't worry, I won't forget about you while I'm in California and Florida. I mean, who could forget you? LOL. Anyway, it's been great. Talk to you later. This first sentence is incredibly difficult to piece together. I think it says being able to tell you what music ideas and what really happens in Florida and California. I hope you don't ever meet Fat Pig Weinstein or the rest. So when you do a query for Weinstein, this is a company in the industry to start them. And Weinstein raped young girls and was charged in 2013. There's over 1,000 results when searching Weinstein or Weinstein or however you say his name. I'll probably just say Weinstein a lot just because that makes sense to me. It doesn't matter how far away you are, no matter how good you think they are. Even the old president, they will get you. He should have been thinking of Chelsea. Gross. In a plane, on a yacht, in New York, in DC, at the Vineyard, on the island in Palm Beach. It doesn't matter. So this one has been really hard to break down, but I think I have it figured out to Bill Clinton and Chelsea Clinton. Disgusting pigs like Alan Dershowitz, I think, okay, I know I messed that up, but we'll go with it. And Mr. Caruthers and even Mr. Islam will hurt you, especially if Ghislaine is busy or not with you. And the victim is showing a Disney boat, I believe. And maybe later on down the road, we'll get more into these names that are being listed. Right now, I just want to decode and give you guys an understanding of what a victim is saying. Never imagined the joy and tears her future held, with joy marked out. Showing sonogram images, poured out an ocean of tears. Pain. I've got myself a winner. I feel broken and exhausted. I am so fucking tired of this sick and twisted game that is causing such physical and emotional pain. Victim of his own. Maybe she's born into it. Never to be seen and heard. 1 minute I was a nobody, the next a stealth closer. high excitement videos of a child all night. A risky power play. Sad. Luxury lifestyles of the rich and the perverse. He wanted young girls. A teen blonde beauty. She wanted her childhood back. No men she trusted. The painful moments. The truth broke her heart. Betrayed. An anonymous letter. Only once is it possible for someone to find a woman with such unsurpassed beauty. Every moment in your presence is like experiencing heaven on earth. The sound of your voice tickling my ears is like the sound of angels. Something. But when we're apart, oh, the agony. I long just to have you in my game, I think that says. Something about something something. It's actually difficult to read because I'm not the best at reading strong cursive like that. To be near you, longing for your sweet something to fill the air. Something I rest with the knowledge that I will see you again soon. Another day, another dream. Anonymous for now. Well, that's just creepy. And you said this to a child? What the actual fuck? Weeping teenage girl in the small dark hours just before dawn. Picture perfect. Balancing act. Giggly. Natural. Soft. Kind-hearted. Cute, shy girl. Battle. Intelligence. Simplicity. Born humble. Small generous traits Jeffrey loves. For the person who has everything. Beauty dies. Shattered. No dreams. Her tragic end. Attacked. And it was a long, tragic trail of tears. This man makes a pseudonym and crawls behind it like a worm. People are hiding behind the false identities. These would be the elites that are trafficking these children. This woman on the telephone says she's a man, not a woman. So assigning gender roles, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Jeffrey was very strict on his affairs being straight and not leaning towards homosexual. The mask increases, eats the worms, stripes for mouth and eyes and nose. The voice of the woman hollows, more and more like the dead one. Worms and the glottal stops. She hates the thought of a baby, stealer of cells, stealer of beauty. So anxiety about aging, bodily autonomy, and loss of identity maybe. She would rather be dead than fat, dead and perfect. So she suffers from social pressure and imperfection. Herein the fierce mask magnify, the silver limbo, each eye, where the child could never swim, where there is only him and him. Possibly stating the relationships are becoming performative. So all in all, the victim chose this poem because it's a poem about identity, fear, and feeling consumed by social roles and expectations. Like, for example, models, how they are forced to starve themselves to maintain a specific image. These pigs who call themselves smart and talk about Harvard act worse than animals. They make a bad name for animals. Just fucking sick. Mr. Sauerkraut Cross and the Martin Minsky are gross. But I felt sort of sorry for Mr. Novak. He was as uncomfortable as me. Ivy League schools do not equal smart or good. It seems more like trash. Please behave like the evolved Homo sapien you are and kindly refrain from licking. What if you didn't have to worry about horror, mystical island photos, and unexpected visit from? Yucky, but they can't behave. The disgusting Mr. Staley. If anyone ever calls me Tinkerbell again, I will lose my mind. He left bloody marks on my arms from his belt and thought he had the right to call me that, when he has big ears as Dumbo. I should have called him that in return. You've been a very, very naughty girl. More sonogram images. I think I'm going to break. Why would they allow Mr. Leon Sis wait this long? I think that's Mr. Leon still, but I don't know. I can't. Why would he bring a friend and make a video? I am so broken, and this procedure was so painful, and blood all over the sheets. I think this is where maybe an abortion was completed. I can't play this game anymore. I have to ask Ghislaine for help. If anyone can make it stop, it would be her. She was so scared because I got so sick and was burning up with a fever. She put me in a freezing cold shower. I can't do this. A lot of cold showers. Blood on their hands. No doctor. Talk to no doctor. Damage. Dead. If you don't know, you can't help. Mr. Rails and Mr. Rain. But so does Jeffrey and Mr. Jacobson, Mr. Conway, Mr. Vradenberg, and Bill S. All of them who don't care if this happens. Perfectly functional, even if they aren't. That's good performance. Looking for help? The solution is death. Emergency. Play games with the whole world. In a spontaneous outpouring of grief. The art of performance. The making of a more powerful family. And I am the arrow, the dew that flies. Suicidal at 1 with the drive into the red eye. The cauldron of mourning. Sylvia Plath, a deep, deep sleep. Loneliness, control and power in young kids. Until cried one little child. The game stopped, but not in a way I thought. I did not have to go with anyone except Jeffrey, and now he and Ghislaine are fighting because I am now over 20 weeks with a baby. We are certain it is his. And I had to go to the Bahamas like this. And for some reason, no plan has been made because he does not want a procedure, and she does. And I am certain this is time critical, but they won't stop fighting. I do not want to be tied to Jeffrey for the rest of my life. Playing the piano well is not a good reason to think someone has good genes or should have a baby. What about Ghislaine? I am too young and he is too old. Why is no one doing anything? I don't understand. I don't want this. I don't want another painful procedure, but I do not want this. That company does not protect kids. They use it to find us, and they are everywhere. I cannot escape. Stay alert. We live where you live. Fatal attraction to just little you. Genes, you do not have a choice in his little plan. So this child is telling us that this Stay Alert company does not protect you. They use it to find you, and they take you. Dared to search for meaning. The anti-war plane. I understand how they feel, what they're going through, because I've gone through it too. I'll fight to the end. I want to make people's lives better and change the world. So that wraps up part 1 so far of decoding the diaries of these victims. And I gotta say, it's truly heartbreaking and it's so sad, and they feel no way of escape. And I don't blame them. They're young, they don't know what to do. They're in fight or flight mode. But it's up to us to help bring justice for them, wherever they may be today. Thank you for watching part 1. Please consider subscribing if you still haven't already, and don't forget to hit that like button. Drop your comments below. Help push me through the algorithm. Let's get this justice out there that needs to be put out there for these victims. And let's help save more. Have a great day, guys. See you at the next one.